To bridge the gap, and I want to thank you for joining me for another Q&A information session as we talk about going to Ghana. Now, we recently had sessions talking about going to Tanzania and Egypt, and we're going to be talking about Ghana today. And I want to thank you for joining me because this is going to be very informative. And if you were just watching that clip, you could see what all Africa has in store. And so that is what I am excited to share in bridging the gap. Now, before we get started, what I do want to do is let me share this with you because I got all your information. And if you do have a question, put it in the Q&A. Do not put it in the chat because the chat moves quickly. So put it in the Q&A and we'll get to your question. But we're going to move this very quickly. But I don't want you to take my word for what you're going to encounter in Ghana. If you're thinking tour, if you're thinking trip, if you're thinking just the same old, erase that from your mind because what we put together is something special. It touches people's hearts, it touches their lives, and it is much more than a tour. It is truly an experience.
It's so hard to just really quantify it in a couple of words, but I think the thing that really kind of surrounds my experience is really just the vibrancy of color. I'm a very visual person, and that has just grabbed me. And I think the colors for me represent just the vibrancy of spirit that just really talks about the spirit of Ghanaians, and that combined with just the fact that they're so pleasant, they're so warm, they're so open.
I learned a lot. I experienced a lot that I had read about in history, as far as the slave trade and what have you. But to actually be able to set foot where our ancestors actually walked was an emotional journey, high and low. This was a wonderful experience. I'm glad I did it because I said to myself when I heard about this tour, I said it's either going to be now or never.
Well, it was a great experience here, just to see another part of the diaspora that we read about. We've seen videos, but to be here in person to experience the rich culture, to see the pride of the natives here in Ghana is just something to behold. I'm taking away from this a new way of looking at the hustle. These people hustle out here.
Yeah. I would say I share the same sentiments. It's been an experience of a lifetime being able to come home, and this being the year of return for 100 years after the first recorded forced arrival of Africans. And it's very significant, and to be here and to experience our family, our native family, I should say, and the culture, and to walk on this soil has just been really profound. In addition to being here with new family that we've traveled with, just the entire experience definitely is one to remember. So I just feel grateful.
It's been very enjoyable. I got a chance to enjoy the country. People are wonderful. I saw a lot of folks that look like they're members of my family, and that's serious. I sent a picture with me and the chief that I was standing next to at the naming ceremony, and my cousin responded back that it looks like Timothy, who's another cousin of ours. So it was very enjoyable and very enlightening, and I look forward to coming back.
I will be back in a few years. I plan to actually bring my family back because I'm the messenger right now. So out of my generation, I'm the only one out of my family that has been to Africa. So I have to be the messenger for them to let them know that it's safe and that you're going to be okay.
Saw your, what was it? It was a YouTube you had, and I watched it by happenstance. And I was planning to go not to Ghana, but to another African country with another group of people that I knew. And I saw and then I got an invite in my email. I don't know how I got the invite, and it was a Zoom. And so I connected onto the Zoom, and then you you were saying it's time, and then in my head I was like, it's time. And so I was one of those last minute people. Like, I only had like less than 4 weeks to get everything together in order to go in August, but it was time. It was time for me to see the continent. It was time for me to I heard someone say, you don't know you have chains on until you move. So that going there was my moving, to know that I had some things that I needed to let go.
So I reached out for the Zoom, and when I got on there, I'm like, this is it, because I love to travel and I haven't been to Europe, and I said I will not go to Europe before I go to Africa. I have to go to Africa first. And so when I got in on the Zoom, I said, I think I'm going to do it. And just like Natalie, it was less than a month from the time I got on that Zoom to actually being in Africa, in Ghana.
There it is. That's right. That's right. And they had a great time, and they have forged a friendship now. I believe it's going to be a lifelong friendship. And they were single ladies who came on a tour, because I know that's one of the questions that some people have, is it safe for ladies? I've seen a lot of ladies do this. I've seen a lot of couples do it. I've seen men do this. It's an experience that you will not regret, nor will you forget. So let's jump into this. For those who are just signing on or just coming on to the session tonight, my name is Jay Cameron. I am the founder of Maximum Impact Travel, along with a whole lot of other things. And tonight we're going to talk about this trip to Ghana. Now, granted, we have 3 trips running right now: Ghana, Egypt, Tanzania. And a lot of people who went on our Ghana tours from the video that I showed before are going to either Egypt or Tanzania, or some are going to both, because that's what we do with our experiences. You want to go back for more. So we're going to talk about Ghana tonight, because I know a lot of people are curious and a lot of people are interested in learning about Ghana. You've heard so much about it, and you're saying, okay, now it's time. Just like Natalie said, it's time. It's time, and I'm going to show you how easy it can be for you, and I'm going to walk you through the process. Now, with that, again, real quick, my name is Jay Cameron. I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, I'm a playwright, I'm an author, I'm an event producer, I'm a coach, so many different things. I could just keep going on and on and on, but that's just a little bit about who I am. And I'm an author. I've written the children's book series, The Adventures of Darren and Destiny. The first book we released was about Ghana. The second one was about Tanzania. The third one was Zanzibar. We have Kilimanjaro coming. We have Ethiopia coming. We have Togo, Benin coming, Salvador, Brazil coming. And of course, the other countries that I visited: Sierra Leone, Nigeria, everything that you saw in the video earlier. I've been featured in these media outlets, and I've been committed to empowering the community as well as educating the community. And that's what you see as a consistent theme with everything that I've done. I've been to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. That documentary will be coming out soon. Kilimanjaro is in Tanzania. I've seen the top of the world from the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. Now, here we go. Let's cut to the chase, because I know folks have questions, and I'm going to get right to this. Cut to the chase. Ghana 2022, 2023. Here are the dates. Now, in a couple of months, March 25th and through April 1st, we have a tour coming up, and I have a very special offer. You stick around, you'll be able to save a few dollars on that one if you want to be a part of it. And it's something that we're doing to encourage people. While prices are still relatively low, they're going to be going up. I can tell you that right now, because as this pandemic is releasing its grip, or people are just getting used to the fact that they're living with it, more and more people are going to start traveling. And so if you want to get in, save a few dollars, I'll tell you about that special offer coming up in a little bit. But here are the dates. You see July 1st through the 8th, 2022, August 8th through 16th, November 5th through the 12th, April, then that wraps up 2022. And then we have 2023 dates. And that's why I say you can do this. You can make this happen. This is not something that has to be very difficult for you, because if you plan for it and you set it up, we have an interest-free payment plan available, so that we make it really easy. So I'm answering some of these questions on the front end, and that way you kind of know how you can make it happen. But some people, you ready to go, just like Natalie said, look, it's time. And both Natalie and Vicky turned it around in less than a month. We walk you through the process, how to get your visa, how to do all of that, and that way you'll be ready to roll. Now, here's the question. I know it. I'm just going to get right into it, because for some people, This is what they need to know, and then they can, kind of decide where they want to go from here. All pricing starts at $29.99, and the itineraries. Now, it does not include international airfare. So it does not include international airfare. So your flight, to Ghana is on you. Once you get to Ghana, we got you. We're going to take great care of you. We're going to make sure that everything else is taken care of from a transportation perspective once you get to Ghana. And you can get the pricing details for the trips at bit.ly travel to Africa. There it is right there. Now, that's for some people, that's what they want to know. Now, let me put this, here's another statement on this next slide I want to be very, very clear about. We are not the cheap trip to Africa. Let me come back over here to the, let me come back to the screen real quick and say that. We are not the cheap trip to Africa. And the reason why we're not the cheap trip to Africa is because I saw some prices for some cheap trips to Africa. And when I saw the prices, I said, these people are going to be staying in places that are subpar for anyone because the prices were just so low. And I just know. And so when I saw it, I said, somebody's going to jump onto that price because they're looking for the cheap price. And then they're going to have a horrible experience. They're going to come back to America and they're going to say all of these bad things about Africa, which it may have been true from that perspective, but they didn't get the full understanding. And the person who was curating the tour was trying to make a quick dollar versus really creating an experience where somebody could enjoy and understanding the culture of the people that they were serving. And so because I come from this culture, I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, raised in DC proper. I was raised in DC proper, Southwest DC. Lived in Atlanta for 3 years. So I know our culture in America. I know what we like. I know what we don't like. I know what it's like for someone who is being introduced to new cultures. I know what we've been taught in our schools. I know all of that. So when you have someone who is culturally aware of those differences and sensitive to that, it makes all of the difference. So just to kind of put that into perspective, you get what you pay for. And I've seen that time and time again, that when when that's what's driving it, then that's what you get. And that's just the reality. We do not devalue what we offer. We have repeat guests. When we released our Egypt and Tanzania tours, the Egypt tour sold out mostly from people who went to Ghana last year. Now that tells you something. If it was, they already know the experience they're going to have. Tanzania, 75% sold out based on people who went to Ghana last year because they know. And that's what we're doing. We're building this for the long haul. When we talk about bridging the gap, that is what we're doing. And we want to represent both sides. I want to make sure that Africa's represented properly. And I want to make sure that the African diaspora and any guests of the African diaspora are taken care of on a level that they're expecting and that they're familiar with. And that is just the standard that we set. And we don't devalue that. And that is, we're unapologetic about it. We also have flexible interest-free payment plans. And that's something that, you can spread it out over time. And so that's why we have dates going into 2023 to make it easy for someone who may say, you know what, I really want to go, but maybe I can't do it this year, but I can do it in 2023. Now you can start planning for it and you can set it up now. And in some cases, you put your deposit down and you don't have to make a payment until like later in the year. So interest free. So it's not, so you don't have to go put it on a credit card. You can take your time and map it out, because what we really want to do is make sure as many people get to the continent as possible. The bottom line is we deliver, and it shows. We deliver. That's the bottom line. We deliver the goods. And so that's how confident I am that we will create an experience for you that you will never forget in a positive way. Here in Accra, Ghana, I'm talking to Mr. Michael Rones from the NYC, New York City. What part of New York City are you from?
New Rochelle
in New York City. And so he's joined us for a maximum impact travel experience here in Accra, Ghana. And we're wrapping up this time. How did you enjoy yourself?
Well, I learned a lot. And the people here are just fabulous. It's just, I don't want to cry. I don't want to leave. No, I'm okay. I just don't want to leave.
But like spiritually, like emotionally full, like I'm leaving here with more of an experience and just what I expected. Like
Really?
it has been surpassed. So I'm gonna try not to cry on this video.
Well, people have been crying.
I think people don't realize there's so much emotion and there's so much that's in us that comes out, like that's being unlocked when we get here and connect to everything we may have already thought about or wanted to know or have been told and wanted to confirm. Like for me, that's what happened.
So I did some research. Not only research, I also did a lot of YouTubing, and I came across you.
You came across me on
Yes,
YouTube.
yes.
Really?
Far as connecting, you know, we all watch a lot of YouTube during the pandemic, but you got to really pay attention to what people are saying. And if they tell you they've actually walked through it before they sponsor their tour, that kind of catches you like, okay, let me go through all
my
stuff. Yeah, go through it all. And I was pleased.
All right.
I've seen others, but your connection, not only that, with the Gullah Geechee.
There it is.
Also, all your travels and trying to connect the diaspora with the continent.
Right.
So I understood.
And you understood the DMV too.
Right.
And
DMV. I'm from, I went to school. DC. Yeah, and I love DC. So I knew we were both talking the same language. One of the things that really stood out with this trip, and I asked you, am I correct? Several times, you actually did this by yourself?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes.
So all the
do
places,
all the tours before I take
anybody.
Absolutely.
And that inspired me. I was like, okay, especially the beds.
Right, I knew what the beds were going to be.
I was like, oh, he hitting it. Yeah, this is really, really good here, because I understood what you meant. And it was so important, because when you say Americanized, you know, we have our standard.
Right.
And we're not coming too far up under that standard.
Especially on the first trip.
And having that security as far as laying your head.
Yeah.
That was the epitome of the trip. Because am I right? We all, once we left out the hotel, what's the first thing we said?
How did you sleep?
Man, the beds was awesome.
Because that's
from your.
You know, I go back and I know that's the one thing that a lot of people wonder is like, well, so how are we going to be sleeping? Is it going to be okay? What's going to happen? And that's one of the things that we do. We spend time, and I personally spend time where making sure that each trip is to the best of our ability. And that's what I know. And I believe that is important when you start talking about having someone travel with you halfway across the world. So whether it's a trip I'm on or whether it's a trip that my team is facilitating, whatever the case might be, I've gone through that trip beforehand. That's how serious I am with it. I ran a summer camp for 12 years. So I understand the importance of paying attention to details, and I also understand comfort, because when you have 150 children for 11 hours a day for 8 weeks, and you do that consistently over an extended period of time, you know the importance of comfort. And so you know about the bathroom breaks, and you know about everything else. So that's one of the things and one of the reasons why Maximum Impact in our trips to wherever we go, you can rest assured that we're going to do our very best to create the best experience for you. So let's keep going here. All right, so why Africa? And that's a question some people have. There are things over there in Africa, in the whole continent with 54 countries and thousands of ethnic groups and thousands of languages. There are things over there that the powers that be have been and do not want you to see. All right, they don't want you to see it, because once you see it, it starts answering a lot of questions and connecting a lot of dots. Just like when Vicky was talking about, she said, you know what, she hadn't been to Europe. She said she would not go to Europe before she went to Africa. And the way that oftentimes in our culture, the way we've been trained is to go to Europe, you know, this dream vacation in Europe. And it's not that Europe is bad. It's just saying that we don't even think about Africa in a sense of vacation in the sense of leisure, in the sense of destination weddings, destination birthdays. We don't even think about it. We think about it as a charity case. We think about it as sickness, poverty, disease, flies, people singing songs, celebrities singing songs, raising money for Africa without realizing the wealth that Africa has and the wealth and the contribution that Africa, the continent, makes to the entire world. There would be no Europe the way Europe is right now if it weren't for Africa. There would be no America if it weren't for the way America is right now. The wealth of those places all stems from the wealth of Africa. So with that, why Africa? You also get a real connection if you go with the right mindset. And I always say that because I see that if you're not properly prepared to visit Africa and you have the wrong mindset, then you can walk away with a negative impression. And that's and I see that, and it's called cultural immaturity. So I see that happening a lot of times. You go to Mexico and have that same problem. You go to Europe and have that same problem. You can go to Canada or South America or anywhere else in the world. If you are not culturally mature or somebody doesn't prepare you, then you can have a bad experience because just they're different cultures, and that's just the way the world is, and that's what makes it the world beautiful because everybody is not the same. It also expands your mind and education base because you learn. And one of the things we do, we make sure you learn, you have fun, you eat well. If you want to party, you can party. All of these things are part of the maximum impact travel experience. So again, just to remind you, these are the 3 tours that we have going right now. If you're interested, you can always go to that link, bit.ly travel to Africa, and you'll see everything. Again, why Africa? It was enlightening on a level I was not expecting when I went. I thought that I was just going to go and say I kicked it off the bucket list, and I went to Africa and saw the people over there, but it changed my life. The whole trajectory of my life changed when I went to visit Ghana for the first time in November 2018, and I've been to 12 countries now, and that's what it's done. I'm headed back in March. I'll be going to Tanzania and Nigeria because we're looking to do a Nigeria tour this year, not waiting until next year. We're looking to do a small Nigeria tour in August. And that's what the continent has done. Even with all of the negativity that has the media and people have circulated, I have experienced nothing but welcoming arms, and maybe because I've been able to culturally adjust, I've not had those negative experiences on the level of what people promote about Africa. What I gained personally and professionally will far outweigh the investments of that trip and all the trips that I've been on. And so that's the why. A lot of times people are wondering, you'll see beaches. If you go to Tanzania, you'll see beaches in a part of the world that rival anything in the Caribbean. It's that type of thing when you get there and you're like, wow, your mind opens, it expands. So let's talk about Ghana. Here we go. So Ghana's called the Gateway Experience. And why the Gateway Experience? Because Ghana still holds much of the history as it pertains to the European chattel slave trade that impacted so many people who are part of the African diaspora. Now, the African diaspora, and some people are not familiar with this term, and that's fair because it's used more widely now than in previous years. But the African diaspora are those people who are the descendants of those who were taken from the continent, whether it was through the European chattel slave trade or the Arab chattel slave trade. And they were taken to South America first, and that's why Brazil has the largest population of descendants of Africa in the world outside of Africa. And then you go into the islands and Haiti, and then you come into the United States. But then you also go into India and other places on that side of the world in Asia who were a part of the Arab slave trade as well. So now, Ghana in particular, the reason why it is so important is because you can actually go to the places and trace the steps and see physical evidence of what actually occurred. And you do have other places in West Africa and East Africa as well that have these places. But in particular, Ghana has the oldest slave dungeon still in existence, still standing, and that was built by the Portuguese. That was Elmina. And then you have Cape Coast Dungeon. Then you have several other dungeons and forts right there in Ghana. But the other part about what Ghana does is Ghana has still preserved enough of the indigenous culture to where you can go and it has not been completely erased, which kind of creates an illusion of Africa. Sometimes you can go and get an illusion of Africa, or not even, I don't even say a remnant of Africa, because the indigenous has been erased so much. So what Ghana does, especially for people in America, because we were colonized by the same people. Ghana was colonized by the British. We speak English in America as our primary language, although America was colonized by the Dutch, the French, the British, and the Spanish. Even though that's the case, we speak English. So there's no language barrier in Ghana. The familiarity in Ghana just has so much. So when we talk about the gateway experience, it is a great introduction to the continent of Africa. It is a great balance of culture. It is modern enough to where someone can go and still get 5-star accommodations. If that's something that you want, you can go get 5-star accommodations, 4-star accommodations. You can have restaurants that rival anything in America. But again, it's not so much to the point where you go and you think you're in America, because my favorite saying is, leave America in America. I have been amazed by how many people go to Africa looking for America. And I think that's interesting that they're going to Africa looking for America. And that goes to cultural maturity and cultural understanding, that if you're going to a particular country, you go to that country and look for that culture. But anyway, let me show you a little bit about what Ghana has going on, because I know they tell you it's the third world. I know they tell you that it's run down. I know they tell you that it's no good and all those different things. And that's what people harp on. They try to find all the bad things, but they won't show you things like this. And that's just to take you inside a little bit of the nightlife scene in Ghana. There's so much more. There is, again, so much to see, so much to do. It is an experience that again is memorable, and you can take it with you for a lifetime. I'm also reminded a lot of people are going who put it off for years, and when they're going, they are discovering the truth, and they realize that they could have done this. They could have done this. So like sometimes in our mind, we'll look at a price and we'll say, I don't know if I can do this. It's too much. Well, again, like I said, we've made it to where if you space it out, you can make it happen. But what I get the most joy out of seeing is when people who've waited many years to go, when they go and they realize exactly how beautiful the country of Ghana is, how beautiful the people are, and how it touches them before they leave this earth.
Ghana is a very beautiful place with beautiful people. A lot of exciting things to be done here. You have beautiful landscape, and like I said, you have beautiful people. And they're friendly and they're warm. So the thing about Western media, they love to lie, they love to demonize Africa as it's a bad place. Come, don't come here. It's not a good place to come. People is fighting, people is dying in the street, all different stuff like that. But I find that to be a lie. And what the brothers and sisters need to do, they need to sacrifice and come to Africa and see for themselves. So it's a wake up call for me. It will be a wake up call for you too if you decide to get up and come to your origin, come home, be with your people, and enjoy yourself around your people. Well, I'm wasting money on foolishness because at the time Africa was knocking my mind to come here because listening to the media, you don't desire to come. You can come to Africa. I could have been to Africa a long time ago. All the money I threw away, that'd been my ticket. That'd been my plane ticket to come here to Africa and be here. And the possibility I probably will move here because what I see now, my desire is to come back to Africa again. So I think every young individual should come here, build a foundation on the truth. Think about the amount of money that you spend every day, every month, every year. It's not that expensive to come here. Because if I made it as a retired individual, and you know that a person who retired, they're not making that much money. So you can save your money, sacrifice, and come home. You don't have to worry about looking over your shoulders. You don't have to worry about getting shot down in the streets because you're among your people. The food was delicious.
Mr. Doctor, he broke that thing down. You notice that we talk about that food. That's one thing about that food in Ghana is something special. Got a little kick to it now. Got a little kick. You can get some heat. So just to kind of prepare you, you will get some heat on the food, but it is truly delicious. Now, I'm going to get to your questions, but I want to make sure that we cover this territory because it's very important for you to understand. So what does an itinerary look like? Our 8-day tours, and we're going to be looking to add some days to this for those who are interested. We don't have it on the schedule yet, but eventually we will look to add some days. It'll be add-on, so we'll probably end up doing a 11 or 12 day option at some point down the line. So just to know, and that'll probably be later in 2022 going into 2023. But with that said, this is what our current tour looks like. And you arrive. So the one question people are wondering, if you're talking about airline and airfare, you arrive on day one. Now, unless you want to come early, that's fine, but that's outside of the tour. And some people do that, for jet lag and all of that. But you will be safe if you arrive on day one. The activity for day one does not start until the evening. And so we encourage you to rest. And then from there, we kick it off. We do the Accra City Tour, and that's where you get a chance to see all of the different sites in Accra, Ghana. Then the next day we catch a flight up to Kumasi. That is the Ashanti Kingdom. That's where we go, and you have an opportunity to participate in the Ashanti naming ceremony. And so that's a day trip. You fly out that morning, you fly back that evening. It's about a 30-minute flight or so up to Kumasi. And then the next day, we go to Aubrey Gardens, and we might do a little surprise in this on that day 4. But this is the basic schedule right here. Then after day 4 is when we begin to go into the slave history. We go to Asin Maso, which is known as Slave River, and then we go to Elmina Dungeon in the Cape Coast region, and then we stay overnight in Cape Coast. Then you go to Cape Coast Dungeon the next day. And you go to Cocoon Canopy Park, which is the canopy walk that everyone talks about. And then for those who are interested in real estate and learning about how you can purchase property in Ghana, then we do have that option where you get a chance to tour some developments and learn about that process also. And then shopping on day 8. And then I have other surprises in here. I throw things in here in the mix. And so you can see the full itinerary at bit.ly travel to Africa. And you will see everything spelled out in detail as far as what is in the itinerary. I'm always excited when young folks get a chance to go on these tours because people are wondering, is this a tour that's good for young folks? Well, you were there. What are some things that you remember about Ghana in particular?
Well, one thing that I remember was the lights. I enjoyed how everything just flowed, how people they lived intentionally and with content. They were happy with who they were around and what they were doing. And that's one thing that I savored and that I enjoyed. And that's something that I will always keep with me whenever I go back there, and that I will always tell others, that the way everything happens, it feels so peaceful, and you'll love it. I honestly.
You talking about taking like 7,000 people back? Do you remember that?
Yes, yes.
I'm coming back with 7,000. I'm like,
yes.
7,000.
Yes.
Hey, but so what were you feeling when you wrote that?
Well, I felt inspired. I felt like it was something that I needed to do in my heart. I felt that I wanted to do it, and I felt that I wanted to make other people feel what I felt. And what I felt was that I felt home. I felt welcomed into a place that was comforting, that was safe, that was fun and joyful. So that's what I wanted other people to feel. I want them to feel that they came home. I was told, you're home. This is your home. I want others to feel like they are home. I want you to feel like you are at home when you go to Africa and when you travel with Maximum Impact.
I need to hire her, right? but I watched you in that space.
Yes.
I watched you while you were there. I watched you learn, because there were things you were learning every day.
Yes.
You were trying new things.
Yes.
And we even talked about, at some point, you and all of us teaming together and bringing some other young folks.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's something that we're talking about. So keep that in mind, everybody, because we both share the commitment to our youth. And it's good for you to be able to hear directly from Aliana, because she was there. So just keep your eyes and ears open for that. Yes. Dominic, you've traveled the world too, my brother. So tell me a little bit about your experiences and what you've taken away from your travels.
So I think that traveling is important because whenever you travel, it's a learning experience. Whether you're doing it for a vacation to get off of work or just going to go, it's always a learning experience, because anytime you travel somewhere, especially Africa, you learn something new. You can look at the ground or the soil and learn something new about how the people in Africa live and what they do. Some people might even think it's weird compared to what they do back in their hometown, but it's not weird. It's just how they live and how they're unique. And so, like you said, some people even move over there because they're so inspired and encouraged to learn more about Africa and their ways, which I think is amazing.
I'm just amazed by the two of you, because I'm sitting here listening to you articulate and express your thoughts. And now I've been.
We know you've been.
But I want to go back. I can say, wait a minute, I need to look at this through a different set of eyes, because of when you hear someone express how they see it. When you talk about the soil, I never thought about the soil. Now when I go back tomorrow, I'm going to look at the soil differently. I tell you, one of the amazing parts about it was on Aliana, when she had the opportunity to go there, just seeing how she was just absorbing the environment. And she's traveled all over the world. I want to shout out to the Junior Flips family and all of what they're doing. Again, keep your eyes and ears open for what we're going to do with the youth, with trips to, we got some trips coming up. So I'll be sharing with you the details about that. But I saw some questions in the chat asking about teenagers and whether or not it'd be conducive. Our youngest attendee was 11 years old. And so I think we had two 11-year-olds. Aliana and then Marcus went back in 2019. Our oldest attendee was 89 and got around better than just about everybody. And so this transcends ages. So don't worry about age. If you want to bring your young person, that's not a problem. We'll touch on that right now. You know what? Because it kind of ties into what everybody was wondering. Are these trips child friendly? Yes, they are. Are these trips adult friendly? Yes. So if you want to go and experience the nightlife and have a great time, you have the opportunity to do that. So don't worry about that at all. Is there a lot of physical movement? Yes. You walk around, we do move now. But the thing is this, don't let's say, for example, if it's someplace that I'm thinking in terms of you don't have to do the cocoon canopy walk. So you don't have to do everything. There are things you can sit out of and say, hey, okay, you know what, that might be a little bit too much. So I will wait on doing that. And there's no problem with that. Do we offer payment plans? Yes. Do we offer group discounts? Yes, for 10 or more. Yes. Is international airfare included? No. Do we help book your flights? No, we don't, but we can refer you to an agent who will. Now, that agent is not an employee or contractor for Maximum Impact Travel, but we can refer you to someone if you need assistance with that, unless you have a group of 10 or more. And if you have a group of 10 or more that are committed and locked into going, then we can help you with the airfare component. But when it's individuals, it just becomes a whole lot going on, and so we realize that that it's best for individuals to handle that. But we can refer you to an agent if you need that assistance. This is a question. Now, this is going to seem silly, but when I read it, but I have to read it because it came up. A question came up: are white people welcome? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. When it came up, I was like, but it's a legitimate question, because when you hear people talking about Africa and slavery and African diaspora, some people wonder, well, are people of different ethnicities welcomed in these countries? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, they might be welcomed a little bit more. So there's no, from that standpoint, everyone is welcome to go on our tours and learn. If you are concerned about the African diaspora and the history of the African diaspora, we do not water down the history to make it palatable for everyone. We just tell the truth, and we have a great time, and all of that. It's a very well-rounded, well thought out 5 senses experience. So you're going to get the taste, touch, sight, smell, all of those different things. Hearing, you're going to get all of that, and it does not matter what your ethnicity is, and you will have a great time regardless of that. I mean, it might be a little tough going to the dungeons, but you know what? White people need to know about what happened in those dungeons too, and not just from these history books that we've been. Let me come to the screen. Not just from these history books that they've peddled to us all these years. Sometimes you got to go and see, and especially if you have children who have melanin in their skin in your family. There's some people. You might be of a interracial marriage, and you have brown children, and you want to make sure they stay connected. Yes, absolutely. I believe that it is vital. I believe it is essential for them to be a part of it, and I believe that it's essential for you to be a part of it if that's who, if you fall into that category. There are a lot of people who are of different ethnicities, and now they're raising children from Africa, or they're raising children of African descent, and they don't want them to lose their culture, and they're saying, well, I don't want to bring them over here and then erase their history and their culture, and they want to bring them back and they want to teach them. So I applaud anyone who's doing that, and I want you to know that you'll be very comfortable in that space, and you don't have to worry about feeling uncomfortable. I mean, the dungeons are uncomfortable for anybody, so but outside of that, you'll be fine. All right, so I want to make sure I covered that. Is the trip all-inclusive? No. When I say all-inclusive, meaning we take care of all of your ground transportation, all of your hotel accommodations, and breakfast. So lunch and dinner are on you. Lunch and dinner on you. What day should I arrive? The day the tour starts. So you want to be there on day one. So, and you want to try to get there probably about midday, and then that way you'll have some time to rest. What time should I schedule my flight to leave on the last day? Best thing to do is to do an evening flight. That way you're able to get out. Because we do activities on the last day. So it's pretty much you're doing activities all the way to the end. Is international airfare included? No. Which airport should you arrive at? And then that's the airport right there, Ghana. And it's the ACC. When you go and you type it in, you type in ACC, and that is the airport that you will look for. What is the temperature like in Ghana? Warm to hot. So it's pretty much warm all year long. But like right about now, it's hot in Ghana. So we typically don't do tours in January, February, March, early March. But what you will see is that we do have tours in November. And so it is warm, heading towards hot in November. How long is the flight? From the East Coast of the United States, 10 hours if you go a direct flight. If you add the layover, then obviously whatever that time is depending on where you lay over. I saw some questions asking about which airline is the best airline. Delta has a flight, DL-156. It flies out of JFK. So that's a very popular flight. So DL-156 flies regularly. I know United has a direct flight out of Dulles. on a regular basis. So that kind of gives you an idea of where you can, if you can get to New York, then you can hop on that Delta flight and it'll take you straight shot into Accra. Do you need to bring snacks and water? No, you don't need to at all. But if you feel more comfortable doing that, then it's not a problem. But we go grocery shopping. That's one of our field trips. You go grocery shopping and you get the same exact food that you get in America. So just know that. So if you need whatever your favorite snack is, Lay's potato chips and Snickers and whatever it is. I didn't mean to put that particular snacks up there, but crackers and whatever. But they have plenty of fresh vegetables and fruits and all of that. Dried fruits, almonds, whatever you want, they have it. Where can you get your yellow fever vaccine? PassportHealthUSA.com can direct you to the nearest yellow fever vaccine. And that's a question people are wondering. So what is required? Because some people say, well, you need all these shots to go to Ghana. I tell you, when I was looking at the ads that we put out and the information or the misinformation that people had that were circulating, it was really kind of interesting. I mean, it was a lot of bad information going on when I looked. The only vaccinations that are required, it's only 2 now: yellow fever, and you need to show proof of your COVID-19 vaccination. So hear me carefully. Yellow fever, you need to show proof of yellow fever, and you need to show proof of COVID-19. And that is all. You don't need malaria. You don't need it. They recommend malaria pills because you're in a tropical region, but it's not mandatory. Typhoid is not mandatory. Meningitis is not mandatory. Polio. Now, when you go to some of these places, they're going to try to upsell you because they make money off of this. Now, if you want to get all of the vaccines, then that's fine. But it's just understanding what is required. And you can go to the Ghana website at GhanaEmbassyDC.org. That's GhanaEmbassyDC.org, and get all of the inoculation information up to date in real time. So to kind of put everybody at ease with that. So why maximum impact travel? Well, because we are going to make sure that, and this is something I want you to really, really understand right here. We pay attention to detail. It's more than a tour. We balance fun, leisure, entertainment, and education. So you have, just like Mr. Collins said, he said, you have all of the emotions, the highs and the lows, and you go through the whole thing. And that's why when Michael was time for him to leave, he was dealing with the emotion of that. And I've seen so many people cry when it was time for them to leave, because that is the type of experience that we put together. So again, let me now I know people want to know what the offer is. Okay, so here are the dates. Here's the dates. The Gateway Experience 2023 special offer only March 25th through April 1st. We're going to take $300 off if you enter the code March 2022, and it will take $300 off per person. And now obviously if you have a couple, that's going to save you some money. I can tell you that as we move into the summer months and the price is likely going to increase because the demand is going to increase. People have been held up in their house for the past 2 years. They have been sitting there waiting, trying to figure out what's going on for the past 2 years. And you know how we do. Folks are realizing that tomorrow's not promised, and they've already been on all 15 cruises, been on every Carnival cruise ship you can think of. And they're like, I need to do something different. I need to go on over to the continent because I don't know how much longer, so people are starting there's an awakening happening when it comes to traveling to Africa. And they're starting to see more and more content with people showing that what they have been taught over the years has been one part of the story. It hasn't been the complete story, and they're willing to make that investment into themselves. And that's what you see happening. People are investing into themselves. They're getting the history firsthand and not just taking it out of a book and not just taking it off of YouTube and they're going and they're experiencing it for themselves. So with that said, we're going to have a great time in March. So that's I'll be on that tour. And I got a few, again, each tour is different because I gauge the climate of the tour. I gauge the people. And what I do is I look at it and I say, and now let me say this, I'm not on every tour, but I am, you will know the tours that I'm on. If it's advertised, then it'll say, it'll indicate the tours that I'm going to be on. So any tours that you see up right now, I am scheduled to be on these tours. But we have other tours where I'm not scheduled to be on. So what you see right now, I'm scheduled to be on these tours. And I firmly believe that that is another added benefit to the whole deal, because you have someone going with you with my background and with the knowledge that I have, and on a plethora of different topics, whether it comes to doing business in Ghana. I'm a dual citizen in Sierra Leone, so I understand connecting to African culture on that level, in that particular African culture. I'm buying a property in Ghana, building a business in Ghana. So I understand certain things. There are certain conversations that people can have with me coming from this part of the world, and questions that I can answer that you just might not get just on a general tour. So that's just another added benefit to this experience. So anyway, that's just to let you know, if you want to take advantage of that, just type in March 2022 all together, and that will help walk you down the process for signing up now. And we'll come back to that again in a little bit. Common mistakes people make: a lack of due diligence. They treat it like they're going on that Carnival cruise, and they're trying to get the $300 deal to go to a completely different continent, completely different part of the world, a completely different kind of experience. And it just doesn't work like that. So a lack of due diligence, those are some of the mistakes that people make. Talked about it, trying to travel to Africa on the cheap. This is essential right now. And this is something that I'm going to say over and over again: a lack of adequate or any travel insurance. How you secure, because a lot of people say, well, what happens if I need a refund, if this happens, if life happens? Your travel insurance is what you want to have in place so that your investment is protected. Because one of the things, and I say this because I want people to really win, especially with international travel across the board, is life happens. And so we have car insurance for when life happens. We have homeowners insurance for when life happens. So when you have travel insurance, that's just wise to have in place for when life happens. If for some reason you get sick and you need that medical travel insurance with medical, they might not take your I don't know if Aetna's still around or Blue Cross. They might not take your Kaiser. They won't take your Kaiser. Let me say that. And so if you have your travel insurance with medical, now you have the medical insurance, and you don't run into the situation of having to pay for that bill and not being reimbursed for it. So those are things that I emphasize, and that's a part of our training. We just don't take you to Africa and just drop you off. It's like we walk you through the process. And that's like when Rose was talking, and she was like, you know what? These are things that I pay attention to because it's important. Other common mistakes: a lack of culture training, looking for America and Africa. I see it all the time. The complaints that come in about Africa are 9 times out of 10 because people go to Africa looking for America, and they don't realize it. And so somebody did not do a good job of preparing them for going, or they didn't prepare themselves for going, and then they kind of came in with the superior mindset, and then that's what they walked away with. When what we do is we prepare you. So when the traffic is bad, now some people say that Atlanta traffic is bad. It's bad. But until you get into some of that Accra or Cairo or Lagos traffic, that's a different kind of situation. But guess what? When it happens, you're prepared for it, and you're not like, oh man, what's going on? And so that's the difference with Maximum Impact Travel. We do not take you over there and leave you hanging and have, and now you have this experience that you were not prepared for. So the next thing is trying to take too many people. And some people just won't go because they can't take 7 people with them. And like on my first trip, I just had to go. My family wasn't ready to go, but I was ready to go. So it was time for me to go. And since then, I've taken people back. And so because I went, I saw, I understood. And so my transformation rubbed off on them. And so now they wanted to go and see. And again, not able to shift from a domestic traveler to international traveler. What does that mean? We travel one way in America. We get on a plane and we go. And when we land, it's pretty much the same thing, kind of cookie cutter in America. When you travel to Africa and different countries in Africa, then you see different cultures. You know, the airport in Nigeria is very different from the airport in Ghana, you know, but they're in Africa and everybody's thinking Africa, but they're very different. So if you're able to do these things, then you can have a great time. Planning for your trip, you're going to need a passport that does not expire within 6 months of your travel date. This is important. Within 6 months of your travel date, your passport should not be expiring. Make sure you have at least, you want to have adequate pages for the stamps because they're going to stamp your passport. You will need a visa for Ghana. You will need a visa. Once you book your trip, you'll receive confirmation details so that you can secure your visa. We also have an online tutorial that walks you step by step by step by step. It's actually on my YouTube channel. You can go there and you just type in Ghana visa on my channel and it will walk you through the whole Ghana visa process. But you get that email as soon as you sign up and it walks you through it. You want to make sure you get the passport book, not the passport card. The passport book lets you travel by air, sea, or land. Everyone needs a passport to include infants. So that's to be very clear. Everyone needs a passport. And you can get a passport at many U.S. post offices. You can go to travel.state.gov for more information. They have third-party providers, and a passport fee is right around $110. I heard that it might have gone up, but the fees vary. But that's what you're looking at in that general vicinity of pricing. Processing times, 8 to 11 weeks. Is taking longer now because of the demand. That's what we're seeing. Expedited costs an extra $60. And it may take 5 to 7 weeks. It may take a little bit longer. Just check with the person and what the processing times are taking. And processing times begin today. And this is what they say. This is their website, travel.gov. Processing times begin the way we receive the day we receive your application at a passport agency or center, not the day you mail your application or apply. And I say this because a lot of people don't have passports. For children 16 and 17, most applicants age 16 and 17 must apply in person using the Form DS-11. Passports for applicants 16 and older are valid for 10 years. So that's like the typical passport that we get, the U.S. passport. Children under 16, all children under age 16 must apply for a passport in person with 2 parents. There we go. Got to have both parents or guardians using Form DS-11, and it's good for 5 years. Obviously, because you have people taking children out of the country, kidnapping them and all that. So they want to make sure both parents are aware about this international travel. All right, so that's something to start looking at and preparing for. Visas, that's the document of a specific country which gives you permission to enter. A conversation recently came in, someone who was not culturally, not culturally ready for international travel and said, well, I don't understand why I need a visa. Well, that's how these countries can regulate who comes in and out of their country. And just depending on which part of the world, the visa process may be different. One of the most difficult visa processes is getting into America. So, just understand visas are a part of the process. Every country does not require U.S. citizens to have a visa coming in. But again, once you get through the visa process, it's done. 9 times out of 10, you'll get either a 2-year or 5-year visa if you do the multiple entry. Please do not do single entry visa for Ghana because you're going to get 3 months. And if your trip is not until 2023, then you run the risk of it expiring. All right. So please get multiple entry visa. We talk about that in the training. Here's the Ghana visa process, GhanaEmbassy.org. That is the website. Here is the rundown on everything as it pertains to the visa. Again, I suggest multiple entry visa, and it's $100. That's the regular service. You can expedite it. I just redid mine. I just got re-up my Ghana visa and I got that for another 2 years. My passport expires in 2023, so they gave me 2 years instead of 5, obviously, because my passport's going to expire. So I'll re-up and do it again and get the 5 years since I spent so much time in Ghana. Let me say this. Prepare yourself for the Ghana visa process. It's not the most overwhelming thing in the world, but if you're not prepared for it, which we prepare you for it, then it can seem a little overwhelming. That's why you get the tutorial. That's why you just follow the steps, and people have been doing it left and right. So people make it happen. One thing I realized, we do what we want to do. We go where we want to go, and we do whatever we need to do in order to get there. COVID-19 procedures. Again, Ghana requires everyone entering the country to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination, to show proof of full vaccination. Also, proper testing is required within 72 hours of departure for your destination. Meaning, so if your flight is leaving at noon on a Saturday, then within 72 hours, you need to have a negative COVID test. And it's a PCR-RT test. Some countries and airlines are requiring testing upon arrival, and that's Ghana. And so with Ghana, they do have that requirement. The fee is $150 for the COVID test upon arrival. Coming back to America, you're going to need to have a negative test 24 hours before departure to the U.S. That costs about $50 there in Ghana. We take you to the clinic and all of that. We make sure that you get that done 24 hours before it is time for you to come back to the U.S. If you test positive upon arrival in Ghana, prepare for a 7-day quarantine. And some of the procedures have changed there in Ghana, where they are allowing people reportedly, and again, check the website, reportedly allowing people to self-quarantine, but just check the website just to be sure. And it's an evolving global process. Again, these are the times that we're in. People are traveling to Ghana left and right. We did a survey recently because we're doing a trip to Egypt, and in the country that everyone said after Egypt that they wanted to visit was Ghana. It was above South Africa. It was above Nigeria. It was above Kenya. It was above Tanzania. It was above all of the other countries. I mean, Rwanda. It was above Senegal. Ghana had a considerable amount of interest above those countries. So it tells you that this demand, and people are going and they're having a great time. I mean, it's not just the slave history. They're having a great time just being in this space, and they understand it and they love it. And that's what's happening. So just to kind of put that in perspective, additional cost, Ghana visa, $100. Yellow fever vaccine, $150 or so, just depending on where you go. COVID vaccine, free. COVID testing, $150 upon arrival. COVID testing headed back into the U.S., $50. So if you start putting this together, you see right here, you can kind of calculate what it'll be. But if you space it out, you spread out, you do what you need to do, then this is just a part of the international travel. Yellow fever vaccine, as of right now, it's a lifetime vaccine, and that's a one-time deal. Knowing why you want to go, leisure, relaxation, business, investing, entertainment, personal discovery, education, culture, cuisine, shopping, all of the above. Guess what? We do all of the above on the Maximum Impact Travel Experience. So you get all of the above. Now, next step is to decide to go. That's where it begins, with the decision, deciding to go. Now, here's the next thing. Now, I showed you those other trips that we have, Tanzania and Egypt. Now, if you book 2 trips, so let's say you go to Ghana and you want to go to Tanzania or Egypt, well, you can get $400 off, a $400 discount. If you book all 3, then you get a $600 discount. So that's just something to kind of put into your notes right there. And you go to bit.ly, travel to Africa. You can see what all is available, and all the trips are there, the dates, the times, all that good stuff. You can take a look at it and see. Money concerns, again, pace yourself. We've thought this through. For some people, you have almost 2 years. You can start paying on it now, put a deposit down now, and then you can see what the payment schedule looks like. The next payment for some of those plans in 23 aren't even due until August of 22. So you'll have 6 months in order to come up with another $200 or something like that. So we've thought this through to where people aren't having to go into a bunch of debt in order to make this happen. And so because of that, for that person, if you really want to go, it can happen. For the person who's ready to go right now, because I know some people say, well, I might not be here next year, so they say, well, I need to go now. And so they want to go in March. Well, again, when you go, if you type in for March 2022, then, and that's the number 2022, if you do that, then you have the opportunity to take advantage of it in March. And then guess what? By the time you go in March, you might want to go with us to Tanzania in July, or with us to Egypt in October, or with us next year to Tanzania, Egypt, or Nigeria. Who You might say, look, I'm trying to go to Nigeria. When we slip Nigeria in, well, I'm trying to slip Nigeria in right after the Ghana trip in August. That's what I'm working on, but don't put that on the calendar. It might not happen. But what you could do is, if you are interested in extending and going to Nigeria, book that August Ghana trip, because if it's done in August, we will put the Nigeria trip right on the heels of Ghana, and it will be Ghana, Nigeria. And so I'm giving you a heads up, an early heads up, that if we do that, which I am working feverishly to make that happen in August, you already have a heads up for it. And if you get in on that August trip, then you'll already be in position to jump onto Nigeria if you want to do Ghana and Nigeria. If not, if you just want to do Nigeria and it comes up, then that's cool too. But just kind of keeping all of this in mind, Nigeria is not on the calendar. It's not there yet. Ghana's on the calendar, and it's a really good balance of all of the different cultures that you see in West Africa. All right, let's see here. So, money concerns, you plan for it, save for it, pay over time. Installment companies, Air Affordable. If you need to assistance with your airfare, Air Affordable is there, and then Affirm helps people with at different times. But Air Affordable, the biggest thing right now would be the airfare, because we've made this work for you on so many different levels as far as the payment plan options. So what you do, here's the process: secure your space at bit.ly travel to Africa. And then what we'll do is get the discovery call set up after you do that. And then if you have any other questions, you can email us at info@maximumimpacttravel.com. And our team is very responsive. If for some reason you don't hear from us, that means that it went to spam. But outside of that, we have people monitoring the email. And if you need to have a conversation with someone, then we have that ability for you as well. So all of that's in place. So key to this, once you make the decision to do it, stay focused. Life will happen. Keep your why in front of you. You have to understand that people are going to have objections. I did a talk on my YouTube channel about some of the most interesting things that I've heard people say about Africa that were so off. So you might get objections from family and friends, people second guessing. Maybe you start second guessing. Some people won't see the value in going, and that's by design. They don't want us to see the value in going. They'll say things like, oh, them Africans sold us into slavery. And I tell them, I said, nobody alive sold anybody in anything, and nobody alive has been sold into anything from the context of what they're talking about. They don't like us. I have not experienced they don't like us at all. I've experienced the opposite. And I tell people, sometimes you might experience people here in America that might come from different parts of the world, and they might express a dislike towards you, but it's very different from those who actually live there. And if you go with the right mindset and the right attitude, they will embrace you. If you respect their culture and you respect them, I'll tell you, they will show you nothing but love. Who used to say, Heavy D, got nothing but love for you, baby. All that, you get nothing but that if you do it the right way. But if you go over there, already on edge, then but again, we prepare you for it, so don't worry. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. I'm sure there's a few questions in the chat. Let me jump over here. All right, let's see what's going on. Rainy season. All right, let's see. Got some questions in the Q&A, because that's where we are. All right, here we go. All right, I answered that question about the cost. What accommodations? Here's a question that came in about for handicapped persons, and it really depends on what the handicap is. But I will tell you, the dungeons are not necessarily handicap friendly, but there are places that you can go and still have the experience. You just might not be able to go down into the dungeon because it's kind of like on a particular angle. So it just depends on what the handicap is. I answered the amount when it comes to, and this is in the Q&A, everybody. So put the questions in the Q&A, because that means I got to go back through the chat and try to kind of fish through them. The questions in the Q&A kind of have everything spelled out. Tim, two shots. There we go. I think I covered that. And bit.ly travel to Africa. I think I covered a lot of these questions. Okay. All right. This is good. All right. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna put this right here. All right. I'm putting this in the chat. Everybody should be able to get that. That's bit.ly travel to Africa. We have Tanzania happening right now, July 17th. through the 25th. Actually, Tanzania and Egypt have sold out. However, here's the deal. Don't let that mess you up. If you want to go, get on the waiting list. Because what I'm doing is I'm opening it up as people are coming through, because you have to book trips. It's different in East Africa. It's a little different. So once you get set, you got to secure it. And then as more people come, then you can begin to add. So if you want to go, get on the wait list, and then we'll open it up if you want to go to Tanzania or Egypt. So don't worry about that. Just get on the wait list. Egypt sold out also. Egypt is really like tight. So if you want to go, we got to go ahead and get that put into place. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think I answered most of these questions. Okay. Yes, tours appropriate for 12-year-old daughter. Hey, what's going on, Tamika? Hey, yeah. I covered all of these. Wow. All right. Okay. Covered that. There we go. I covered that. Everything can be found at bit.ly travel to Africa. Every question. The $300 off is only for new registrations. For those who are coming on, that's the special that's available now. Only for those who are new registrations, not previous registrations. Just an FYI there. All right. No, we do not include any COVID testing in the pricing. So that is separate from the pricing. Hey, Carol, how you doing? Thank you for support with I got the word that you supported us with the Darren and Destiny book. So thank you so much with that. Good. Hey, Michelle, here's a good question. That's a great question. And it's part of the training. So just know, because you're going, that you're going to get this training. And let me come over here to the screen. When you go, we're going to be doing we do an online session, and so you'll get the links to where you go and actually pay for the COVID test. But you can go to the Ghana Embassy website and pay for the COVID test right there on the Ghana Embassy website. They have a little tab that says COVID-19 off to the right. We're gonna train you, Michelle. Don't worry, you have a chance to. We do a Zoom. We walk through every question. We all get a chance to talk. So don't worry about any of that. You'll be fine. You're good. For solo travelers, there is a price increase for those for single solo travelers. Yes, there is a price increase. Yes, and it's all right there. Hey, let's see. When is the rainy season? Is during the summer months, like June, July, August, right around there. Yep. Do we do private tours? We do private tours. My minimum for me to do a tour is 6 people. That's my minimum, and just to kind of airfare. Now, if somebody says, Jay, we have to have you, and we want you, and there's 3 of us, and we will pay extra, then of course we can work that out. We'll make that happen. But for me, the minimum is 6, because that's a flight to Ghana. I still have to pay a hotel, and it's time, and it's time. I want everybody to have a good time, but at the same time, there is a value that I bring to this that you will not get any other place. I mean, and that's just the reality. There's a human component to this. And so there's a value attached to it. But I will do it if somebody's saying, hey, we have to have you, and we're willing to make sure all of those things are taken care of. Absolutely, we can work it out. Average cost of flights. Now, that's a loaded question, because you can find flight prices. I've been in, like, my flight going back over is $1,000 round trip. And I'm doing Delta. I'm flying from Reagan to JFK, and it's $1,000, the one I'm doing in March. So it's literally $1,000 even. So just to kind of put that. We do not match. We do not pay our roommates. I have friends in the travel industry, and we have been, they have told me horror stories. Think about it like this. If 2 people are matched and it doesn't work out, what happens next? And then that becomes a responsibility of, you see, so we did it one time, we didn't have any issues, but I see where we're going with this, and we're looking to take thousands of people to the continent and to different African diaspora destinations around the world. So we're putting policies in place to protect everyone on the front end. Oh yeah, they accept credit cards? Absolutely. You better believe it. Yes, they do. You can use your ATM card. A lot of people ask how much money you should bring. Minimum $300. You can survive with an extra $300. I say $500. You're good to go. You're going to shop. Ghana has this thing where when people go there, I've seen people look like they cried broke before they came, and suddenly the money they just found money just coming out everywhere. Souvenirs and buying extra suitcases. One group had a name called the Shoppers, because each group has a name. We have a personality name we give them. And I'm just looking, I was like, wow. Oh yeah, we got another suitcase to take all this shea butter back and this black soap. And I mean, you get a chance to get stuff like this is like real black soap. This is like straight, you get to see the black soap and how it's made. I mean, this is like some good stuff. I mean, so yeah, but you can use credit cards there. But now every place doesn't accept credit cards, but we'll help you with the currency exchange, and meaning that you'll have the opportunity. The currency exchange is right there in the hotel, and so you'll be able to get that done. So if you bring your cash, then you can switch it over and you spend it the same way. You do I have some? Yeah, I got some CDs right here. I gotta see. I'm like that. I'm that dude, right? All right. So here's a Ghanaian CD right here. That's right. So that's a Ghanaian CD, and it's your Tanzanian shilling right there. You got your Egyptian pound right here. Yeah, where is it? Right? Central Bank of Egypt. You got your Sierra Leone. All right. So you got your South African rand. Anybody know this guy right here? So anyway, so yeah. Let's see. We can talk about dual citizenship in Ghana. It's a little different than Sierra Leone, and we can touch on it. You got to spend some time in Ghana. You really have to kind of live there and get residency and really show that you're dedicated to the country, and that's how that dual citizenship works. It's not as it's pretty. You got to be there. You got to be committed to it. Hey Georgette, how you doing? Yeah, it just really depends. The way that I describe this tour, this is a great sampler tour. And when I say that, meaning you get to sample a lot of different things to see what you like. And so you can stay the 8 days and really get a good sample. And then people go back. I have people that have been to Ghana with me before who are coming back to Ghana to do it all over again and go to the same places. So, it just really depends. I mean, and even when you think about the flight, I used to think about long flights like that, but now I guess because I've flown so many different places on the continent, me flying, getting on a plane to fly to Ghana is like me driving to Charleston or Atlanta or something. And you can go and drive to Atlanta and stay there for a week and then drive back to wherever. So when you start thinking about it like that, it's not as overwhelming. My thing is, when you start looking at price points, and I'm mindful of this because you can add extra days to it, but then now that takes that price point that we're talking about now, and you're adding another $750,000, to that price point. Now, some people are cool with that, and that's why we're going to offer that option. And if you say, hey, listen, I want to stay longer, then we can work that out. So that's not a problem. If you're like, I want to stay, 3-4 more days, there are many more activities. I mean, Ghana is someplace that is loaded with things to do. It is not, you will not be in Ghana and find yourself without things to do. I mean, it's so much. I mean, I spent almost 6 months in Ghana last year, on and off, going back and forth, and there's still things for me. I still have not been able to do everything, but it was that first introductory trip that gave me the sample to say, oh, now I want to go see more. And that's what this trip does. So there are no restrictions. Oh, no. There are no restrictions. There are no restrictions anywhere that I've been in Africa. There's nowhere. Nowhere. And I went to Tanzania in the height of it. I went to Tanzania in 2020, and no problems. It was actually enjoyable and very relieving to be in Tanzania. So just know that and I don't have a favorite country. I love each one of these countries I'm telling you about. There's something that I find that I love. Okay, Angelica. Yep. All right. Minimum 300, 500 is recommended. Okay, so like for Ghana, for the solo fee, this is what you're looking at. The starting point is $29.99. The solo is $33.99. So I think that's a $400 difference. That's what you're looking at. Oh, great question, Sue. That's a good question. If you have a double room, let me just if people don't mind sharing a bed now, if you have two beds in a room, so what you do is you get a double room, and then if people are willing to share a bed, hey, so that can work out. And what you can do is if you have 5 people going, then what you do is you do everyone, if they're all in the group and everybody's willing to stay in, with those accommodations, then that can work. And so just let us know. All right. So we know what's going on and we know how to situate it, but you'll be fine. You got an odd number going, we'll work it out for you. All right. That's how we do it. Absolutely. Custom tours are available anytime. We have a team on the ground. I have a staff in Tanzania. I have a staff in Ghana. I have a staff in Egypt. I'm building my staff in Nigeria now. And these are people I talk to every day. These are people I know they get paid. I mean, that's part of what this is also bridging the gap financially for those on the ground there. And what a lot of people have been able to do is to raise their standard of living, because we're able to pay them more than what most companies are paying them in Ghana. And that's one of the things, that's another reason why they look out for the integrity of what we're doing, because we respect what they bring to the table. We don't go there and take advantage of them. But it also serves as a win-win, because we're able to now bring people over and have these experiences. So when you have people who are happy, then they serve you better. And that's why I said when you start seeing these real cheap prices, you have to now start asking yourself, how much are the people getting paid to do this work? When you see a real cheap price, and then with that, are we now doing the very thing that we complain about when we lowball, the situation to the point where people are not getting paid to do the work? It's so there are a couple of levels to this for me, because I'm a financial literacy entrepreneurship trainer, and so I'm big on making sure that people are taken care of, because if they're taken care of, then they'll take care of you. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Cheryl, what's going on? As long as you got that card and you can show that yellow fever card, you'll be all right. Hey, Helma, how you doing? A family of 6, all adults. If you go to bit.ly, travel to Africa, all of the pricing is there. Just depends on which date, because all prices are not the same. That's why I say we start at $29.99, and it fluctuates based on the time of year. But if you look at that and you just kind of multiply it by 6, that'll give you a good idea of what it would cost for a family of 6 to go. We do have some travel agents that we work with, but if you know somebody, then hey, that you recommend, we're always looking to bring folks on who are qualified. So let us know. Send us an email. Yes. Hey, Helma. Yes, it is. Absolutely. And all you have to do is go to bit.ly travel to Africa. It's in the link. Hey, Sue. Oh yeah. There's not a whole day of relaxation, unless if you want to take the real estate tour day. That's an optional day where people can go if they decide that they want to relax that day. Maybe they're not interested in real estate, then that's a day where they can relax. There's a pool at the hotel. When we go to Elmina, there's a beach right there. And again, if there are certain things we know that you want to do, and what I try to do is to accommodate the guests within reason. If it's not going to take us all the way off in the left field, then I will do everything I can to make it happen. And sometimes, it may be saying, hey, listen, one of the team members takes you to, one of the beaches in the area or something like that. It just depends. There is beach time. It's not the whole day, but there is some beach time available. And if we know that that's something you're looking for, then we can place emphasis on it. All right. Any other questions in the Q&A? Just to keep in mind, everybody, if you have a question, put it in the Q&A, not in the chat, because the chat moves quickly, and going back through and surfing through the chat can be very, there are other conversations happening and all of that. But in the Q&A is pretty much, here's the question, and I can focus and hone in on it. All right. Excellent. So here's the deal, everybody. Move quick on that March offer, because that March offer is not always going to be there. And so we're going to close the March offer on February the 5th. That is when the March offer is going to close for the $300 off, because we need to go ahead and get everything situated. So that's when it'll close. Put February 5th. If you're going to go ahead and do it, then go ahead and lock it down. You still have plenty of time to get your visa. You still have time to make it happen. And by doing that, at least, and one of the reasons why I suggest people do in March is because you have a great time in March. Now, in your mind, you still have time to do Tanzania. That's again, it's sold out right now, but I have some flexibility there. Okay, so just know it's sold out, but based upon the waiting list and what we see, that we can open accordingly. Or maybe it's Egypt, and you want to do Egypt. Or if we open up Nigeria, then you want to do Nigeria. So that's what I'm saying. March is really good. One of the things that I've learned, and one of the things I do is this is for me. I don't wait, because like when I went to Kilimanjaro, I put it out in early 2019. Hey, everybody, I'm thinking about climbing Kilimanjaro. People were like, yeah, I'm going to go climb in 2020. Let's do it next year. Let's go next year. I knew at that moment when they said that, I needed to go ahead and go in 2019. I didn't know COVID was coming, but I knew if I waited and waited and waited, I would not have seen the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. And I had the ability to do it. Now, for those who don't have the ability to do it, don't worry about it. Take your time, pace it out, map it out, do it like that. But for those who are like, look, man, let me go ahead and do this. Come on and have a great time in March. You're going to hear me talking a lot about March because we still have time to do it. For those who are looking for the summertime, you have time to do it. And just take a look at the dates. MaximumImpactTravel.com is the website. But if you want to go right to the trips, bit.ly travel to Africa is where you want to go. It's right there on the screen, right there to my left on the screen, your right. And then the Africa Travel Academy walks you through the process, and bit.ly travel Africa Travel Academy takes you and gives you even more information, more details, more insight, all of that good stuff. If you have additional questions, you can email us at info@maximumimpacttravel.com. And then that way you can get the specific question answered. I think, Carol, you've been communicating with some folks on the team, and you've been able to get a lot of questions answered. And so that's what we're committed to do, to make sure that everybody that this process is easy as possible. Let's see here. Some more questions came in. Oh, hey, Yvonne, that's a great question. Yeah. The hotel has a shuttle that picks you up from the airport. So you don't have to worry about that. Yep. Picks you up from the airport and takes you right to the hotel. Benin and Togo. We're going to look to add Benin and Togo. Once we get through, I've not been doing a lot of multi-country because of the whole COVID testing process. I love Benin and Togo, but that COVID testing process, and what's it Omicron and all of that going on, it's just that I don't want to go and start moving people from country to country, and then somehow they test positive, and now you got to deal with that. So I like to get everybody in the country. We've never had anybody test positive going back into the U.S. So that's a very good record. I'm very thankful for that record. But COVID has not impacted Ghana, not even remotely close to what has happened in America. And it hasn't even same way all across the continent of Africa. It hasn't remotely. When you look at the numbers, you can't even compare. And a lot of people say the testing and all of that, but you can just look at the whole thing and see it's a completely different ball game. Let's see. Hey, what's going on, Gerard? Hey, man. Look forward to seeing you soon, man. We have a great time over there. Yeah. Text. Let's see. Let me go back here. All right. Textile tours. Oh yeah, we have solo folks all the time. Oh yeah, we actually have majority solo folks most of the time. Absolutely, and majority ladies. Yep, that's right. And I think a lot of times people feel comfortable. I think ladies feel a little bit more comfortable when they, when they have somebody who's versed. And then of course, a lot of times when you have a male there that can, like, if they're concerned about like the male aggression, even though I haven't seen like male aggression like that in Ghana, but if they're concerned about it, then they feel better if they have that type of tour guide to be able to say, hey, and let me tell you something. I grew up in DC in the 80s, and I have no problem, stepping to folks in any country. I've just running joke that, I tap into my inner Nigerian and in Ghana, because they're trying to make sales and stuff like that. We go through this in the training. But in Ghana, I have a great relationship with the people, with the vendors, because I respect they're trying to earn a living. But they also know I don't want that over aggression when it comes to trying to sell. So whenever they see me come up, they're like, boss, we know the rules. We know the rules. I said, okay. I said, I want you to make money. I said, but you don't disrespect my folks and stuff. Don't come over here and just, and so we have a great relationship like that. And so don't worry about, if you're worrying about being a solo traveler, you will not be a solo traveler on one of my tours. You become a part of a family, and we look out for each other. So do not worry about that. Okay. We've had, one young lady, Sierra, came and her family, oh, you're going over to Africa by yourself, and just watch her interview. You see exactly the experience that she had, and she did not go through that issue. Textile tours. What type of textiles? Let me. You go to the market where you see them making the clothes and making the bags and making the shoes. So in essence, you do get some of that, if that's what you're referring to. 4-star hotel. And that would be, we normally stay at Golden Tulip, and that's Golden Tulip Accra. We stay at Ridge Royal in Cape Coast. Group sizes vary. I mean, sometimes they're 7, 8, sometimes they're 20. Just depends. I typically will not go over 25. Cell phone. I use cell phone just like I use my Verizon over there. Yeah, but one thing I do, I have Wi-Fi for us in the vans and the vehicles, so that so that helps a lot of people. But yeah, that's I don't talk on the cell phone. Let me say that. But WhatsApp you can use. I use WhatsApp the same way. Yeah. The exchange rate right now 6 to 1. 6 Ghanaian cedis to $1 US. And all right, I answered that. Yep. All right. Yeah, all of this is on the website. All of this information, and then this, you can watch this again on demand also. So the same link that you watch this on, you can watch it again. All right. Yeah, no. With Dubai, somebody asked about Dubai. The deal with Dubai is, again, we're in these COVID times, and I've done the Dubai layover, but with COVID, they stopped doing the layovers like that. So that's what I'm sure we'll introduce it at some point. And it was really cool that Dubai, you catch Emirates and they give you 24 hours or 22 hours or 18 hours, and you get to be in Dubai, and then you do the tour, and you can go to the mall, and you can do all that good stuff. Hey, Vicky, question is, are there add-on optional tours? Not just yet. Now, if you want to do excursions, you want to do something different on your own, we can kind of point you in the direction. You say you want to do something, we can kind of help you. We can help you facilitate that. But as far as add-ons, as of right now, we're going to be adding on. As a matter of fact, we have some really interesting things. We're looking to add Shy Hills as a part of the tour experience. Right? We'll either do Shy Hills or Aubrey Gardens. It just depends. Shy Hills are very physically active type tour. So some people might want to go to Aubrey, some people might want to go to Shy Hill. So we're looking to add that. We're looking to add the like a day at the Royal Senchi. So there's some other things that we're looking to add. We're looking to add Takarati. So that's a part of our extensions, but that's something that we're looking to do. We might even do something in Safari Valley as a part of that's like a real upgrade. Yeah, that's a real upgrade. No, just breakfast is the only one that's included. So lunch and dinner are on you. Okay, yeah, no, we don't go to like Ghana textile manufacturing companies. No, we don't do that. Hey, Claudette, will you combine one with the Serengeti and Zanzibar like a 2-week trip? Will you combine? Well, Tanzania is the Serengeti and Zanzibar. So both of those are together. That's 9 days. And I'll be honest with you that a lot of times people think they want a 4 or 5 day safari. And I mean, if you're really into animals like that and you really want to see like 89 elephants, and if you're into that, then that 5-day safari can work for you. But I did a 5-day safari, and by the time I got to day 5, I was like, whoa. And so it just depends, so what we do, again, we give a nice sample. By the time everybody does the safari, they go to the crater, they go to the gorge, they go to the Maasai village, they're like, okay, we're good, let's go to Zanzibar. And then in Zanzibar, you go to the monkey sanctuary, you go to cheetah sanctuary, you go to see the tortoises. So you get all that. So it's like you get a lot of that going on too in Zanzibar. But we can do it. I mean, we can make whatever happen. Whatever somebody wants to do, we can make happen. All right. So don't let our standard deter you from coming up with an idea and saying something that you want to do. We can make it happen. All right, let's see here. Let me take a look at something. Somebody just sent me a message. Let me take a look. All right. I'm just taking a look at something here because somebody sent me a message. I want to make sure that somebody just had a question. And let's see. All right. I'm looking at this right now. Carol, it says the maximum impact trial. I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at it. Let me send this to you. That might. All right. There we go. Try this and see if this works for you. There we go. All right. Let's see. Claudette said, "Oh, okay. Yeah, you can get a little. You get out there in the wild. It can be a little. Yeah." Yeah, I thought that one through. I've been on 2 safaris in the Serengeti, and I definitely appreciated the shorter one of the 2. And I've done it, and I'll go again. I'm looking forward to going again. I've been to a safari down in South Africa and in Kenya, so it's very fascinating. Every one I've been on is fascinating. But when you want to go see different things, you don't want to stay one place. Again, that's just me, but I hear this from a lot of other people too. So I think about that. Is the flight from New York nonstop? That Delta flight, the DL 156, is definitely nonstop. Goes straight from JFK into Accra. Definitely. All right. I think these are the questions. Oh, okay. Yeah, with Victoria Falls someday. Yes, we will. Absolutely. So we will do that. That's look at what we're looking to add on. No. Go ahead, Claudette. It's no problem. Okay. Now Tanzania is a little different from Ghana. Now the Ghana climate and temperatures and everything are very different from Tanzania. So that you have East Africa, you have West Africa, and so we have not put the Tanzania dates out yet. What I can tell you is that we're for after this particular trip, but I can tell you they're typically mirror. What we're going to do is mirror from year to year. If you notice from the Ghana dates, they're pretty much around the same time. We are considering now Tanzania, July is high season. So that is prime time. And it's a good time to go. Summertime, it's during that time with, people out of school. So that's why we picked that time for Tanzania. And then with Egypt, we did a little bit differently. We'll probably do a summer Egypt trip also, but we are right now we're doing October, and so we don't have the dates yet, but we can kind of gauge that it's going to be around the same. But let's see. I mean, if you think of a time that you're interested in, let me know, and we'll see. All right, great, Carol, got it. All of the ones that are advertised. Hey, Dolores, how you doing? All the ones that are advertised, I am scheduled to be on those tours. So, barring an emergency or something like that, but I'm scheduled to be on those tours. Great question, Sue. She said, I wonder the cost of a meal on average, high end to low. Well, it depends on what you're getting. If you're getting something local, I mean, you could get something really, really filling for like $5. But dinner, you can probably average, you think to yourself like $20, $25, somewhere in that range, and you'll be fine. We do go to one, I know my folks. I know y'all not trying to go over there and when y'all eat, you want to eat right. So you'll be all right with $20, $25. And, but see, again, folks get happy and they get that banku gets pretty good or might be something else, something they're more familiar with and they want to eat, but you can kind of put that in your mind. All right, cool. Yeah, Claudia. Yeah, I think that would really be good. I think, yeah, if you do that, it's like I said, we thought this through, and there's a reason why we put the dates where we put them, because it'll really be cool. And I think that if you do that, then I don't think you'll regret it at all. And if you can do it this year, good move. Especially if you're talking about you and your son, good move. Any other questions? All right. I know somebody might be, I'll give you like 10 more seconds, because he might be typing, and this is in the Q&A, not in the chat. Questions are not in the in the chat. Let me also do this in case somebody may have had, I will put this in the chat in case somebody might have had let me put this over here. Try this right here. There you go. Try that link in case anyone might have had a challenge with the bit.ly link or something like that. You can do that. All right, you can that link right there. We're gonna have a great time. I think you all can kind of tell. I'm not gonna keep going back over to Africa if we're not having a good time. And people are not. This is the real testimony about it. When people are willing to spend their money twice, that meant there was an experience. And we're not talking about a small ticket item. We're not talking about $50. We're talking about thousands of dollars that people who went with me to Ghana last year and had the experience in Ghana, and now they're going to Tanzania, like the June group last year, like almost everybody, all but one person from the June group is going to Tanzania. So James is going to be there. James is going to be there. Brandy. I mean, I'm just thinking about the people that you saw on the videos. They're going to be there. Renee and Jeff are going to be there. Tyrone, Dolores are going to be there. But then I have people who came in August. So Natalie's going to be there. And I'm going through this whole thing, and then people who came in November from the Turn Up crew, Alonzo Veneta, they're going to be in Tanzania. You know what I'm saying? But they're also going to be in Egypt. And so then you have people who are going to be in Egypt. Harriet's going to be in Egypt. I'm just going through this whole thing. Diana Ciosi in Egypt, bringing family with them. Millie's going to be in Egypt. That's the type of culture and community that we're building, where when we go on these trips, we really become family. And so we call it the reunion. Where are we going to have our reunion? What's the next place? The reunion. That's what it is. It's not, that's what I tell people, it's not just a tour. I mean, we're really here creating relationships and connections. And I'm watching people, make business decisions and move and do all kinds of things. So I think, all right, good. Oh, wait. Okay. All right, good. Thank you, Margot. I hope you join us. Hey, Sheila, what's going on? Cool. Prices start at $29.99. That's for double occupancy, $33.99 single for Ghana. For March, for the first, these trips right here early in the year. That does fluctuate a little bit towards the end of the year and then next year. At typical temperature in November, you're going to be 80, 85 in November in that territory. Yep, the hotel has a great system as far as picking everybody up. We know what time everybody comes in based upon their flights, and they are picked up. That's how it works. So not a problem at all there. October 8th through the 16th in Egypt. That's what's happening in Egypt. And again, it's all, if you go to that link, I posted it in the chat again, but let me go ahead and see if I can send this to you. If you go to this link right here, and then you can get, and let me, and as a matter of fact, there we go. I'm excited too, Sheila. I'm looking forward to all the new people I'm going to meet. I know there's going to be some new people I'm going to meet. I already know it. I mean, we keep talking about this. This is what it is. When you start taking people and allowing them to have these encounters, and then they have it, and you're able to, and what's going to happen. It's like, I know I can watch it. I can watch things changing. I watch people when they get off of the plane. If I happen to be at the airport and they're nervous and they're looking around, and and I see how when they come in like that, and by the time they leave, they're like, man, they feel at home, they feel comfortable, and I think that is worth that. That's a priceless experience. So, all right, everybody. Again, if you, I see Angela, right? But you know what? That's the deal. You can catch us on another trip. So enjoy your trip to Ghana, but guess what? We have Tanzania, we have Egypt. And as soon as I get Nigeria locked in, because y'all know what they say about Nigeria, but I am determined, because I've been to Lagos. Nigeria was the country I felt the most familiar and did not feel out of place at all. That was in Lagos, Nigeria. They were actually surprised when I told them I was not born in Nigeria. They thought I was from the Igbo tribe. They were like, well, wait, or ethnic group, because people like to say tribe now. They were like, wait a minute, we thought that you were born here and you went abroad and got educated and came back. And I was like, well, no, I do have a lot of Nigerian DNA. However, and so I'm telling you, it was just a very unique. I can't wait to share all the content from Nigeria. I took January and kind of chilled a little bit because I ran so much in 21. I said, let me breathe a little bit, start off 22. But anyway, everybody, we're working on that Nigeria, because Nigeria is not known for tourism. That's not their forte, but that's okay, because whoever gets into Nigeria and does it right has a whole lot of people in the African diaspora that would be willing to come and see. And you just got to do it right. And so that takes time. And that's why I go ahead of everyone and really kind of lay the groundwork down and establish the relationships so that when people come, they have a great time. So, all right, everybody, look, we're going to wrap this up. But I do have, if you aren't fully convinced yet, just take a look at this last little bit. I showed it earlier, but I just want to show you this so we're really, really serious about how hold Hold on one second. Okay. Yeah, we're really, okay. There we go. All right. These are some of the people that's going to be on the tour. And I did a discovery call with James, and now here it is. He's going to Tanzania on a second trip. And but then other people that you're going to see featured in this. And this is just a little taste of what you're going to get when you go to Ghana. All right, so make it happen, sign up, do what you need to do, take advantage of the discounts, email us, let us know if you have any questions. Let's get you plugged in. Let's make this thing happen. Let's bridge the gap. Let's make this thing happen. I can't wait to meet you in person. That's what I'm saying. If you need to get on the waiting list, get on the waiting list. Do what you need to do to make it happen, because we're going to have a great time on the continent of Africa, and in particular, Ghana or Tanzania, as they say it, or Egypt. Talk to you soon.
I have been watching you for some time. And, I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I've been all over the world, man, but I've never been to Africa, man, and I've always wanted to go. But Africa, I could never get there, for whatever
we'll get you there. That's how we'll get you there.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Last year, we were supposed to go, my wife and I, and she passed away, so this has been on my bucket list for some time. And now that she's gone, she left in January. But now it's like I want to fulfill her dreams and my dreams at the same time. What I want to do is go there, and I just want to feel the country, man. And
I want to make sure that happens for you. And when you told me about your wife and you were trying to get to the continent,
I want to hear those drum beats, man. And I'm excited, man, just with the thought.
I'm here with James. He made it.
I made it, man. I'm on the continent, man. In Ghana.
How do you feel?
Great.
Comes together. Who went up to the door? Never in their life.
In the 60s and the 70s, it was a rebellious time, but it wasn't an educational time. And this is where it should have started. Like you did, that's where it should have started here and then there. Now, when I went to E.W. Du Bois, I was literally blown away. I am totally impressed and overwhelmed, and I want to thank you. For getting me there. I'm the youngest of 12 kids, and mostly 10 brothers and 2 sisters. And it just, the narrative has been wrong. And it behooves every Black person to find out who he is, where he came from. At my age, I'm not interested in money. I'm interested in finding out where and who and what and how we can help a whole race of people that's been bamboozled. They've been hoodwinked mentally. This trip has been, it's been absolutely educational, but emotionally educational. I just thank you, Jack, and stay on fire, stay in tune, keep doing what you're doing, because I think you were created for such a purpose, for such a time as this.
The real purpose of laying the foundation in Africa was in preparation for all of the people I was going to meet by way of the Maximum Impact Travel Tours. I had no idea what to expect, but I knew it was going to be great, and great is an understatement. Each group had its own unique vibe that ultimately became like a family. For most, it was their first time on the continent, and that made it even more special. From the moment they arrived, to traveling to Kumasi, to participating in the naming ceremony. Having roadside bread. I need the hot bread. Where's the hot bread? This is hot. Yes. Take a big hunk. I got 2 of them. Woo, that's hot. Oh, yeah. That's how she got a sanitizer. There you go. There you go. Oh, come on. Go ahead. There we go. Oh, that's right. To Slave River and then to the dungeons, everyone was touched on some level. We had a great time making chocolate. Celebrating birthdays.
Happy birthday to
you. Making deals.
So we back again to see Miss Money. That's right. And going to see Miss Money.
I told you I was coming back, right?
Yeah, you said.
I said I got a whole group of people right now.
Okay, we heard about you ladies. Yeah, nice to see y'all.
We done brought a gang, brought a whole squad of people over here to Miss Money shop. We're gonna brand Miss Money worldwide. Miss Money worldwide. There she goes. Turning up, dancing, and so much more. We will always be connected by way of our time in Africa. Who knew the experiences we would have when I decided to take off and come back to Africa after so many people said stay put? Not only did we have our maximum impact travel tours, but I also connected with some very special people in Africa. Little thing here. And we're gonna find out who all you related to in the USA. So that's what's coming up.
I knew I could be related to Michael Jackson, but
we'll see. I even got my fashion groove back. It seemed like I was getting spotted daily somewhere in Ghana.
What's happening, everybody? I've been spotted again here in a crowd. This is Osu, right? Osu, yeah, it's happened again. Spotted again here at ShopRite at Accra Mall. What's your name, man?
Marlon Caesar from Maryland.
All right, it has happened again. Spotted again. I'm now officially known as the YouTube guy.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit, how did you recognize that and all of that?
So literally, I probably was watching YouTube either yesterday or today, and I keep seeing your videos, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's the guy that I've been seeing on my YouTube homepage all the time. So I was like, let me say hi.
All right, everybody, this has happened again. Oh man, so I'm walking and going to get something to drink here. Yeah. And my brother, what's your name?
Sam.
All right, so I'm here. We gotta get this light. Come on. Let's see. There we go. All right, so this is Albert, right? So you can walk and follow me on YouTube. All right, here we go again. Spot it again. And so you said you were watching the video this morning. All right, I'm here in game in Accra in Ghana. So this brother rolled up on me. I hear somebody say, Jay. So he said, I've been following you on Facebook.
At the beginning of the year, I wasn't even thinking about my YouTube channel. But by the end of the year, we surpassed 13,000 subscribers thanks to you. The countless interviews from all over the continent.
Touche, my brother. Touche.
That's what I'm saying, man.
We're brothers from Ghana. Yeah. That's how we do this. Yeah.
Let's see.
I've been waiting for months.
Yeah. Let's see your genetic makeup.
Just I get to open it myself.
You can open the page, the results right here. Here it is.
Here it is.
Right there. And then you can look at the breakdown.
Benin.
So I knew Togo.
Okay.
So Benin and Togo, 86%. Wow.
Okay.
Keep going. Ivory Coast and Ghana, 7%? So I'm not even Ghanaian. Well, just 7%.
The crazy adventures, the fun. I will always be grateful for this year.
On our way, Rocks Watching. What I'm doing is bridging the gap.
We're at Rocks Watching right now. And Elliot came. But no.
And you dealt with the hot stuff too. Just this fascinating occurrence.
This was nice. This was really good.
So say hi to Reggie Rockstone.
Hello, Reggie.
But wait, all of the action wasn't an action.
I have been watching you for some time, and I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I've been all over the world, man. But
I'm gonna go climb Kilimanjaro.
When I went to Ghana, I knew that there was something missing.
Why'd you go to Ghana? What started the whole?
What started the whole thing was curiosity, and I did the ancestry, DNA. Then I did African ancestry. Then when I was doing the whole Uber experiment, I was meeting all these people from Africa. And there was this one young lady from Ethiopia, and then she told me, oh, this Ethiopia is a great place, you need to go. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, whatever, okay, I'm gonna go one day on my bucket list. But then I did the ancestry, and this whole piece about Africa kept coming up in my mind. And then I just decided to do it. I said, I'm gonna stop waiting around, I'm gonna do it. From there, went to Ghana, and the first thing that hit me is that, wait a minute, there's something I wasn't told. Just had lunch, and we are getting ready to start this journey. We're getting a lot more footage along the way, so stay tuned.
So we made it to the top after the rock scramble. Life above the clouds is completely different. Behind me is the summit. We're on our way. We are in a cloud. That's what's happening.
I'm dressed like a handmaid.
This is literally like from another planet.
Wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata.